Sham is zegt de Meister Sheni daar hij met bedel niet maar het best wel mijn schijmen is zo gaat schijmen met iets gaan is het best wel voor slecht of kunnen best wel is voor slecht ja maar voor slecht jullie is maar slecht maar ik ben vrij Jehuda. There were times that by say yeshiva there were things that the yeshiva said and there was a riff in the yeshiva so he spoke about things and he said but not friends David and nicht do. And they have to do that after Chashredden. But that's what he said. In der Trachtheit steht da bei Sukkah steht am Star Potem in Sukkah. Star Potem in Sukkah. Yeah? Star Potem in Sukkah. Oh, and that's why the Gemara says in as well as that somebody it's in the by the Zohar you go out of Sukkah in the Star in Sukkah you have to go out a little bit mit der Dave Nefesh, nicht Beut besucht, the Goyim, they went out, they clapped, yeah, aber das ist bei Sukkah. Wo ist der Din bei Talmud Torah? Ist der Mitzvah Potem in der Torah? Sagt der Rambam, Perek Aleph Halacha Ches, Kol ish miso chai b'Talmud Torah. Kol ish. Was ist der Chiddush? Warte, jeder eine ist mechuyev in the mitzvahs. And we used to say is like this, Ben Oni, Ben Osher. Maar rechnet is dat in Jume, had geld, de geld laten misleiden, had dus geen geld, dus laten misleiden. Dus geen afgeminnen. Ben Shalom Begufay, ben bij Yisurim. And by Yisurim over here, when the Rambam talks by Yisurim, doesn't mean the Mazgan and Asach Tzabrochen. That's not true. Das nicht dus meint der Rambam. Ben Bocher, ben Shoy, Zoken Godel Shechosh Koichai. Zoken Godel Shechosh Koichai. אפילו אונה אמר זה הבסוכם, אפילו בעלי שבונים לילה כבוי לזמן לתלמוד תורה ביום ולילה שנאמר גיסא ביום ולילה פרק א' dat een peri gimmel dat er nog sterker peri gimmel loch yud beis ein dividoy miskaimen ve mish merapa asmele rapa means a rifyon macht a rifyon a yirida yeshiva is called a yirida you know what I say yirida I mentioned the mensch right so depressions oilem yodem toy is no miskaim be mish merapa asmele punkt verkehrt was mehr za was mehr toy atzloch veloy bil shloim mit euch idun und mit euch achile bestier. That's toy whatever reason it is toy gegangen geworden elbemische memes atsmele mit saigu fitom related shena in the laugh of the number I'm not talking about say that nicht look am Madreges I'm not the one to talk about Madreges nicht ich du musst es sagen ja saloch schkof aber se bol yodi aber se bol yodi se machser it's a brechtzer it happens right so dafür ist noch nicht viel finden aber kommen der Grem ist das Adam der Grem mit Adam kiyamas bei oil hat ihm geyamas mich mein misas mit bei oil ja khokh kann schleim bei khokh hat strof ist bei yom tsal tsal khokh af khokh mosi amduli khokh shel manati be af amduli der khokh der toy I learned well, it wasn't so geschmack. It was not so bequem. This went as a 90, 65 degrees. It's now 70-something degrees. Amdali, those are forget. Amar chacham bris krusa shkal yigei b'talmudim b'beis hakneses lo yibehei u'meshakach. Toile b'beis hakneses, toile b'rabim. So this kein kleine Sach. Chol yigei b'talmudim b'tzinim machal v'shenetzav. That's a toile. That's a machzach. It'll be fixed, the boy said. But in the meantime, nothing's for that different. Nothing's Rapazan David Toya. Learn and Toya with the Azaka, that's a much bigger problem. Yeah, Bissel is a Machzach a Bissel. Nafsach Machazik Lein, boy said. Zot die Gemorre. So do me that next in the Gemorre, now a Bissel Ibegain do. Hang with base on the bottom. Hoye loy moyish shel sakona. He had money from Sakana, meaning that Zok the Moshe, what is he money Sakana? Geld is Sakana, it's Eish Oichelsa, right? Mabei Shal Eish. Money does gefährliche Sachen. You have to know how to handle, that's why it's Mabei Shal Eish. You have to know how to handle Geld. I mean, you can't just handle it does crazy things. So Moish Sakona, that's what it is. This is jede Sache steht da Aramis in der Einleuchtet. Aber du meint mit Moish Sakona sagt bei Moish Shamalchia is Makpida Zu Azu Shelo Yishtamshu Mebei Shamach Zachez. You're living here, only this currency. You can't take out, can't bring in. So money is Sakona. Behem Sakona is Lefishim Mechapshim Boitkim Achreim. They come, the government comes and checks if you have it. V'chil Aleihim Out. Why? Because it has to be Mabei HaYotzeh. If it's not a Mabei HaYotzeh, no, Ramzoy, read it, Ramzoy. It's not a Mabei HaYotzeh, it's Tzata HaKesef Yedecha, and you take it to Yerushalayim, and you use the money. So it has to be a Yotzeh. This is not a Yotzeh. Why? Sakona, Mekanis Shnitzen. If you can't use the money, it's supposed to be deraisa. That's the push the pshat do in the Ivrif and the Gemara. It's peg dal loch yud. Ein poidim mabei shein yoytzi bois zman bois mokem shenema aposik v'nesata hakesef b'chol ashetav v'nafshecha ad sheyeh roy lo yitzov. You say ashetav v'nafshecha. Whatever you want to buy, you buy the food. So whatever you want to buy, you can buy it. So mizdayin azach was oivel asaycha. This steht in the Pei Moshe. Mabei amalochem v'shoinim yoytzi poidim boy. Yoytzi has to be usable. It's not usable. It's nicht kein Tzata Kesef Yotcha. That's eine Sache, was wir können das nutzen. And he says here, this Rama we saw yesterday, ein Poidim bepachas mipruta b'nei shu kupoidim ba'asimoin. So man sich gestellt, why does he have to say that it's a simoin? Say it's nicht kein Geld. Pachas mishav pruta, nicht kein Geld. Okay, so it's a Sache to talk about it. The Lomdim from Chayshim Mishpat. My Eiden sagen, sind stark. He has a ganze Maroche. I fight around with him all the time. The time is that Pochel B'Shav Brut is Geld. That's not kein Geld. It's a Geld. Bezen can't be done on Pochel B'Shav Brut. Bezen doesn't have a shlita on that. But Kaponim, Geld is this. Right, it's a Geld. No, Asima, felt no Asima. The advance says over here like this. Ikul Meidik, the Ibishel Nechosh, the Bin Kesher Kesef, and Betzur, Pochas Mipruta, they have a moment. What did the Rambam say over here? I didn't see it yesterday. What do they have to say over here? Neshu Asimoin. Can't talk Poshas, nicht kein Geld. Well, they franked it Baz. That yesterday's kasha. The Shloime, the Olam Bishal Kesef, Sheyesh Boy Tzura Eidi. Pochas Mishav Mipruta, but it has a Tzura. Will they motzi the name of the Pochas Mipruta, they have a moment. Why doesn't he say this place nicht kein Geld? Mishum Nahava Minute Kesef Am Rachmona, Afila Koldu. Punk verkehrt. Kesef is Geld. You go in the store, you can buy it with Pochas Mishav Mipruta. You can buy something with it. Have a minute, Kesef Am Rachmona, Afila Koldu. Shemachi Tali Tamib, Shinida Kapoida Basiman. Less than a pruta. It looks like a coin there that you're using just for something to get into the bathhouse, whatever it is. It's nishkan double kivish ein boy pruta. You know what the problem is? Ein a choshev kesef. That doesn't have the shem kesef. Sheyesh boy pruta. The ta'at being a kesef surah b'choshev. That's the side. The voice is it has not a kesef surah. It has to be a double choshev. Not a kesef surah. It's not a double choshev. The mele is ein poidem boy. It's the Zazoi. So Mele Zok the Gemara Nifselu. It's Nifselu. You can't use it. So if you can't use it because it's a Moshe Sakana, it's felt as a Kesef Bayotze. Or you Moshe Sakana. Also, Uvdu Kumin Evemi. Now, this is a very, very Shvei Gemara here. About Zen about the Shvei Kai. Evimi said, Yoylech Hanol Yama Melech. So what says Yoylech Hanol Yama Melech? Zok the Play Moshe, Nacham Oliver and the Play Moshe. Sagt also uvde ki hay mikamer evimi wo mi yedach anol yam mel wusste geschehen fi shagatkhile ein machal olay. You're not supposed to be machal olay. What are we talking about? Madbeya shemorad boy. Sorry, I have to say this over also. Madbeya shemorad boy ben kuzbiya ein machal. Who was ben kuzbiya? This is going back kochva. We're going back kochva. Bachocha refused machamu with the Romans. And he lost. But first he was very successful. Ad kedei kach that Rebbe Kiva, the greatest Tana Rebbe Kiva, was a tiger ben him, and he thought he was Mashiach. We bring the Meiser here also. So Mele, they called him later Bar Kesiva. Bar Kesiva. So, interessant Zach. Have a look here. He brings the us. The article brings it here, someplace here. Note number 13. Bar Kesiva, Hayudua Gambikina Bar Kochva. This is Bar Kochva. Neil Morad b'meshech shenasayim v'chos. In 2.5 years, he was fighting around with the Romans. Under his case, after the second Churban in the base of Mikdash, Aslachos, he was very matzliach. So Rebbe Kiva thought, "V'chom machedim under Chom ad kedekat." The greatest Tana Rebbe Kiva. People asked the question, and the Belzer Rebbe and under the Gedolei Rebbes in Zweite Weltmilchama. My father told me he was in Budapest. And they took the famous story where the Rebbe came to Budapest, with Goyse Nissim, and he left to go to Yerushalmi. And before he left, he went to Gezinzer Shul, the big shul, and he had a drosha. And Ratzfeld, his brother, Ibn Gezuk, because the Rebbe was there, the Rebbe was not a big speaker, said, Ibn Gezuk, to sein geht. And he said, when I so schlecht, also you get to be gemeint, when I so schlecht ist gewesen. So I'm afraid, the Belzer Rebbe, Kedosh Elyon, the Shaykh. Wie zu teuer gewinnen als Azach? How was he teuer als Azach? Der Tana Rebbe Kiva zu teuer gewinnen bei Kesiv, teuer ist Mashiach. Teuer ist Mashiach. Heilige Tana Rebbe Kiva. The Abish, close the lights. When the Abish closes the lights, you don't see anything. That's the pshat. Let's say by Lloyd, Nilu Limtzes HaPesach, Hiku B'Sanvedim. That's the Abish closes it. It's a tinkle. The greatest Tana Rebbe Kiva zu teuer gewinnen Kesiv, and it was Mashiach. Kora all of us haposig dorach koichav miyankev, ba koichav miyankev. But I'm giving the dos, but vi shidvu, and he had coins. His man shenilas amorad nifsu machalem. So the Romans, they won this battle against Bakasiva, and then they passed these coins. Because the Malchus was a rebellion, the fikach loyhoyim matbeyes ilu chashuvim luklum. V'yesh mefoshim shagamor misyaches l'zman shel achar min akaponim. What he's bringing out over here, there's a matbeya shenifsal, even though he was successful for a time, and it was used and it was usable, and you could buy things with it. But al kaponim is not kesef hayoytze. Nishkan kesef hayoytze. V'neishu ain't a kesef hayoytze. This is hoya moish zekona is made. That's not. It's not good. It's not good for any machal. Okay, so now what? So hoyle moish shel sakona. Let's say this kesiva money, these coins. What's the Yamamelech? What's going to the Yamamelech? It is good. It's good. It's not good. It's not good. It's garnished. So what's the Yamamelech? Look the Pnei Moshe. So those are Musharayin in this. Why the Yamamelech? Monosho. The field Shechatchila aim mechal aleim. The Pnei Moshe is learning the Katchila. You can't use these coins that were nifsal. Nifsal means that the government doesn't really, the establishment doesn't allow you to use these coins for political reasons, whatever it is. So it looks like the evidence is good, right? Meaning that it has a Shem Kodesh, it's in Schala. So that's, you can understand with that. Why is Yerachan al Yamamel? The Katchila don't use it. So put it to, what are you going to do? It's Kodesh. So put it to Yamamel. That's the Avonah from the Pnei Moshe. What happened over here? He was ready to Mechalel, and then they passed the coins. That's what it looks like. This Uvda from Bakasiva, that he made him ois madbeyas because they won the war and they said his coins are no good. Chilul alayim, and he already was machal with this money. Ma'aser sheni. So what happened? The figure zokt Rabami tziva Rabami begapaskin sheyoylech oison liyamamelech. Those coins that were already used before the Gzeira, before the edict came out. Hoyu b'kora alayim shem mois ma'aser. There was already shem mois ma'aser. But ma'aser atzmoi. So Meister is not Mechula. The payer is like Payer's Meister Sheni. It's like in the middle of the transaction. Somehow that's what it looks like to me. In the mitten, he already killed Hashem Meister, but now there was Nifso, so Mela is not Yoitzer. So it has already Kriya Shem. It has the Kriya Shem. Even though Katchila now you can't use it, but you could use it. So Mela Abbas Gazuk, like it's on Yama Melech. That seems to be the Pshon. What?
What can you buy Paris with it?
Where? What are you going to buy parents with? No, you still see because how's that? Al Capone, he was saying that you can't buy parents with it. You can't buy parents. Why? Well, some geld getting cooking parents. What are you going to do with it? It's Ma'aser Sheni money. Ma'aser Sheni money. You have to be knowing Ma'aser Sheni with it. So they were guys. They were afraid. He was afraid. It's about Zen. You can learn a lot of pshatim in here, but this is the mucharai. It is. It isn't. And then you want to call it Ma'aser Sheni because then you're going to use it. You're going to use it for real Ma'aser Sheni. So it's excited. So put it into the yam. Yeah.
And so what's the problem?
It's not. It's nifsa.
It's
not. It's nifsa. It's nifsa. So it's nifsa. What? Okay, the chashat, yeah, because you're going to think it's good. You good with chilul? It's really not good. So it goes into the yamel. But it's time to use it, put it in your pocket, osnish, because it already has a shem ma'aser sheni on it. So it's like nishtahin, nishtaheh. That's what it looks like over here. It could be it's a shem ma'aser sheni on the money, but this already has a shem ma'aser sheni, but the payers are not mechul. So it's in between. It's a Moishe Chiddush. I know it's a suffix. It's a din. The din, he doesn't say it's a suffix. He says that you had a kriya shem on the money, so the money is already Ma'aser Sheni, but the payers are not Yotzei L'Chulun. So the payers are not Yotzei L'Chulun. So this is the problem. You can't continue like this. You can't use money like that. So he said this money goes into Yam HaMelech. Yodech Hanol Yam HaMelech. Meaning that it's nifsa. Now, what does it mean Yodech Hanol Yam HaMelech? The money goes to Yam HaMelech? Or the knowledge goes into Yama. What's the cheshbon of it? Falls in a minute. Zuk the Rash Sirila. What? Can be put what? This point is now normally the coin is kodesh, right? And you buy payers with it in Yishlaim. That's it. Finish the payers are full. That's it. Now you have money that you were paid. You create Shem Ma'aser Sheni on the money. What? The money becomes kodesh now. As a kriyashem.
What's the kodesh? You can't get the kedusha off.
How do you get the kedusha? You can't buy payers with it. Because you're going to say, people are going to say, oh, you're buying payers with it, so you're it. So it made it. It's almost like it. He doesn't say it's excited, but it's looked at V'maitza atzmai ain't mechul. So the much about that in a minute. One second. The Moshe is very, very big kids over here, so it's hard to understand exactly what he wants over here. So look at the Rash Tzirila. Also of the common of Imi, this Misha also came be made of Imi. Ravami Achar Chum Hoya. So he was in the time, looks like in Abba Chum. His time was out of Chum. He was in the time of Bakasiva or Bakarchwa, and there was Nifsal. And now he said and they brought him this money. So what do you do with the money now? What was Tipman Degeld? So he doesn't say here it was in the middle of the Meister where you do Machal the money, and now the question is the money is Kodesh and the payers are Kodesh. What do you do with it? He learns like this. Go back one more piece, please. He's talking here, there's no mechitzas in Yerushalayim. The Kesser Shaboy the boy, he's going on Bizman Hazeh. He doesn't go on by Kasiva. It looks like going Bizman Hazeh. The previous piece talks about Kasiva. Now he's talking about Bizman Hazeh. Shaboy the boy, Mashal Yam HaMelech. We paid with the money today. Soon seen that Rambam holds you take one prut, you pay everything, but Akaponim, Kumash Kosva Goinim, Hilkakainu Chilul. Shel kesef shel sakona k'may kesef hayotz. It's like kesef sakona kesef hayotz. This Perikei Halacha Beis, I think it's off here. Ma'aser Sheni Tefes it's Rambam. Okay, V'amalei Yoyel Chanol Yam HaMelech. The last keta Kuloima Kol HaTosefes Sheshove Ma'aser Sheni Al Shivi Oisei Kesef. All the additional value which the Ma'aser Sheni was more valuable than this particular coin, right? You don't have to have exactly it has to be shava v'shava. Tziva she'ivdiu, you should be paid the money because it wasn't done properly. V'yoylech oisa kesev l'yamel. Put away the money that goes into yamel. You can't use the money. Zik the shvavus doesn't say why. Zik the goyin. Matbeya shenifsel the hainu pas l'medina. Pardon? Yeah. But why? The question is, why is it going to Yam HaMelech? What's wrong with it? Who throws money in the ocean? What? Why? Kodesh. Has them Kodesh. Ma'aser Sheni. Okay, good. That's the way what the Pnei Moshe is saying. This really doesn't tell me why. Put it in Yam HaMelech. Okay. And it looks like this. Look at Azai. Matbeya Shenif. So not to go in. The Hainu Paslu Medina. The Medina Paslu. Okay. Malchus Mekabelis Reb Yosi Kasiman. Kloima. Looked at Reb Yosi Rabbanan on a seaman. This okay. Now he says over here, Shayayin Nesach. Shal Nesach. Where does it say Nesach in the Gemara? The Gemara doesn't say talk about Nesach. Look at that. The Yayin Nesach Teifus is Domav Lester Banot. That's the din. Yayin Nesach is Teifus Domav Lester Banot, because Yayin Nesach is the Chom Asidit. And if you sell it, it has the money is also Teifus Domav. The money also becomes also Banot. Pasuk Ravimi that paid is Ma'aser Sheni. Those paid is Shechil Aleim. Use the coins of the Bakasiva coins. These were apostled, the Medina apostolate, and you took the Ma'aser Sheni, you paid it. Yoitzin L'chulin. The going says it goes out L'chulin. The payers are off the hook. They're chul now. V'amoyis, and so you kodesh Shem, so now the money becomes kodesh, and it works. It looks like he's learning pshat is only the katkil, you shouldn't do it. But look, the Evid, it's done is done. V'amoyis ain't showing lehenes. The money you can't have a no, favos, dasurim bano. Pshat is also bano. Why is money also bano? You live the Ma'aser Sheni. It was better also bano. Doesn't explain to us what the surah is. Vaista is that there's also no because it looks like he's learning the Chom Asidit because it's the Kathil, you're not supposed to do it. That's surah bano. But the Ma'aser Hazeh Toivis Hano like this. What was the story? He says the story in the Gemara is like this. Reuben has payers. Ma'aser Sheni payers, and he can't take it to Yerushalayim. Mekenish, see field, he can't do it. He has a chava. This chava is going to Yerushalayim, and he has money. So he says, you know what? Do me a favor. So Reuben has the payers, tells Shimon, who's traveling to Yerushalayim, I'm not giving you shliach mitzvah money. I want for you a favor. You have $100. You're going to spend $100 in Yerushalayim. Be mechal the payers that I have on the money that you're going to spend in Yerushalayim. Tasili tava. Make me do me a favor. Shimon, who's traveling to Yerushalayim, the money is yours, but just be mechal my payers on the money that you're taking to Yerushalayim. What? Listen, this is the guy. Yeah, you can do it. So he says to him like this: you take the money that you're going to spend anyway in the hotel there, thousands of dollars in the hotel, yeah, and have in mind to be paid my parents over here. Yeah, what does bother you? But you have to eat only Yerushalayim. Don't go to Bnei Brak and use it in Yerushalayim. B'kedush is Ma'aser. And now Reuben, he's going to eat the parents here b'chulin. This favor that Shimon, who's going to Yerushalayim, is doing for Reuben, who's staying out of Yerushalayim, this makes the money that Reuben had, that Shimon who's traveling to Yerushalayim, makes the money into Nesach. What does it mean Nesach? Yain Nesach. What does that mean? The Toiva, I don't know what he means. The Toiva, the Noashi Yesh boy, the Novus Hatafin, does get Liyam HaMelech. It's hard to understand this kavanah here from the Goyim. So I'm going to show you what the Chaim says, but let's just see here, easier to understand. Number 15. Look, number 15. Our article understands this. So he's saying like this: this is not money over l'saycha. Over l'saycha means $100 bill. It's accepted all over, right? This coins, which the government asks, so it's it's the black market. It's not used all over. So therefore, so you can't use this for chilul. Lefikach after kavach chilul ma'aser sheni aleim, he did it already, and now mitten it in. All of a sudden, he gets a text. They passed the coins. Anyway, he was mechal the money. The money, so he's caught in the middle. Nishara moyes chulin. So this money remains chulin. V'nishra ma'aser sheni b'kedushosa. So he's not learning like the Goyen says here. The Goyen says over here, and the Rashiril says that you got stuck in the middle, so the payers are nifta, and the question is now what to do with the money. But he's saying like this: if it's nifsa, nishara the moyes, nothing works. The money is chulin, the payers are kodesh. Afa pikain. So he's saying over here, like the Pnei Moshe says, now, Hoya v'kora ala, that's the problem always with this Rabbi Rabbeinu Askrol. He doesn't tell you exactly where he's coming from where, but he's coming here now from Yikri Hashem Mois Meiser. That's what the Pnei Moshe says. V'kor aleim Shem Mois Meiser. The last line in the Pnei Moshe. That's where he's come because it's already had a Kriya Shem. Chosh is Rabimi. Rabimi is the Baal Memra over here. The last line of the Gemara. Therefore, Rabimi Paskin. She'ein l'shtamish b'hem. Don't use this money. Elo yoylicham liyam. Throw it into the ocean. V'yashlicham sham. And leave it there. Don't take it back. The fizeh, okay, that's another shot. Fizeh, kavanas of imi, who he sheyoylech as a mois liyam melech. Umashi no yoylech hanol liyam melech. Why did he say yoylech hanol liyam? He should say yoylech a mois liyam melech. Put the money into the yam melech. What's that? No, what does it mean yoylech hanol liyam melech? He agav haloshin hashgura ka become a kav. Yoylech hanol liyam melech. That's the way the sugar of the loshin hagemara. It says always yoylech hanol liyam melech. That's how he understands the Gemara. But Reb Chaim said, Reb Chaim said, the other way around. Okay. Look at Reb Chaim goes like, Seperik Daled. Ein poidim paid out loch yud. Ein poidim mabei sheni yoytze bois zman ubois mokem shenema sadakes v'shtav nashchat sheyei roy latzo umadbei amalochem arishonim im yoytze mishmam poidim boy. Sorry. Madbeya, what does it mean, Shena Yoitze? Rama says, Ein Poid Madbeya Shena Yoitze. What does it mean, Shena Yoitze? Zukte Chaim, Shena Yoitze, Goy Madbeya Shabak Asiba. This is in the Gemara. Yushalayim Lefnei Chubona. Yushalayim, before it was Nechrav, so they had money. That money is not usable anymore. We have these coins, but it's not Yoitze, it's not Lefia Yoitze, not Oigla Soicher. Chai Gavner, Chein Mi Shumored B'melech, B'osem Madbeya, calls man shloy kivish as a medina. During a revolution, they have different coins. Until you don't settle it, who's in power? That's not considered yoytze. V'im hoya yoytze la'asimim b'sela matbeya b'shekel or the matbeya b'sela la'asimim shay. Zukti yasazoi. B'oyse zman. So he says it has to be b'oyse mokim. Yoytze b'oyse zman or b'oyse mokim. What does it mean b'oyse zman and b'oyse mokim? B'oyse zman, b'oyse mokim. What does that mean? But the Chaim, maybe it was once used. Because he was successful. And during his reign, when it became that he was Mashiach, he was on top of the world. So he was the ruler then of Yerushalayim. Oh, but later it got Nifsal. So now it's Nifsal. Now it's not good. Now the Malchus was in power. They passed it. Medina. Afal pi shemalchus mekablosei kim sheni yoytze agav surosei mechamlosei. So that's
the bank won't take it from you, but the grocery store will.
That's right. So he brings over ein poidim ma'beya Yushalmi Ma'aser Sheni Perek Aleph Halacha Hoylei Moshe Sakona Also Uvde Kumiravim. He's explaining now the Gemara. So let's learn a few minutes of by side because that's Shvei Gemara. So Chaim learns like this: Yoylech Hanol Yam Melech Kosev Agro B'Biurei. Okay, the Gasinon Moye Shel Nesach. What was the money? The money was Yain Nesach money. Pirish the Yain Nesach Teifus Adamah LeEseh Bano becomes Oseh Bano because you exchange this money for wine, which is Yain Nesach. Upasich Rab Imi that pays Ma'aser Sheni Shechil Aleim. The payers the Ma'aser Sheni Yoytze L'Chulin. Those payers go out L'Chulin with this money, which was now money which is Nifsa. V'Amois Ein Shoyin Lehenis Mehem the Surim Bano. Klot. Chaim says the payers is Chil Aleim that goes out L'Chulin. Okay, that goes out L'Chulin, and the money now blows Oseh Bano. Why is it Oseh Bano? Because the Chaim says, the Goin says, Yain Shanesach. Omna Moisav Azeh, Toibus Hano, Shohoyin Noisin Lechavede, Shohoyin Yerushalayim. That Toibus Hano, that has to go to Yamavel. We Eish Loi Mois Chulin, Mavakish Mimenu Shei Moisav, Mekuloyin Al Pei Roisav. His money that his friend is taking to Yerushalayim, that should be Mechal his Peiris. והמויס ישארו תחת יד חברו, רק שיוכל אויסר בירושלים, בקדושת מעשר, this is